Hello everybody, it's Lori with DIY Nails, and today I'm going over a confetti mani that I absolutely love. So I just put on some coffin nails, glued them on completely, and then lightly buffed them, and I am using a bunch of confetti. So here I am just grabbing a little tiny bit out of every single container. I of course sped it up because it took me like 5 minutes to put all that confetti in there. And I'm using whipped cream, which is so classic and white and beautiful and crisp. Makes a perfect canvas for any blingy mani that you want to create. So all I'm going to do is start with the base coat, and we're not building an apex since I did use a full coverage nail. So you're just going to want to go ahead and make sure that you coat the entire nail, but still keeping in mind not to touch the cuticles or sidewall. And then make sure that you're dipping at a 45-degree angle and go slowly, because you will shift the base coat and powder and it will cause you to have to work. And if you see me re-dipping after I've already dipped, it's just because the powder is absorbed into the base coat, and then some base coat still has the ability to have powder absorbed into it. So I go ahead and just dip a second and third time. And what I did in this mani is exactly what I told you guys not to do. I dipped too fast, and yeah, me. Exactly what I told you guys not to do, I did. So I'm gonna have to work a little extra to make sure that that smooths out, because white is not very forgiving. So you definitely have to file that imperfection off and buff it as well. So with activator, you're going to want to make sure that you completely saturate for the first activation, and then you're going to want to let that dry for a couple minutes, at least 2 minutes, before you go in and start filing. And I always tap it and make sure that it clicks and it's hard, because if it's soft and gives it all, when you start to file, it'll chunk out. So it's very difficult to fix that. So at this stage, you're going to do your complete final filing of your shape, disconnect any edges that may have accidentally connected, and then you can file across the top if you want. White, I like to buff so that it's perfectly smooth under that clear coat. And because I'm using confetti, I want to make sure that it lays flat. So after you've filed, brushed off all the excess dust, go ahead and hit it with an activator. Again, don't forget to cap your edges and allow that to dry for minute or two. Definitely allow it to completely harden. And instead of applying my confetti to the top coat, which dries so fast and it's very unforgiving and it takes a lot of work to have to remove it, so I really like working with the foil transfer adhesive, because you can apply your confetti, you can apply glitter, you can apply your foil transfers, and if you make a mistake or you're not happy with it, it's so much easier to wipe this off before it completely dries than it would be to have to file off that top coat. So you have a little more time to work with, and it's much more forgiving, and you can move things around and then allow it to dry. It does dry pretty quickly, but again, it still gives you more time than what a top coat would. So you can just see I'm kind of picking and choosing, seeing if it's easier to dump over or lay into it. And of course, you're going to want to top it with a clear coat because it will come off. So I just do a very thin layer of base coat and then I sprinkle the clear on top, and that's for a couple reasons. Because that confetti can come off in the clear coat, and then also when you're pouring over, you're able to see where the powder is being applied, and it also keeps any of your design from moving. So if you were to dip it, you run the risk of shifting some of that confetti or anything that you're working with. So I just use a spoon and pour it over, and then I can manipulate my finger too and make sure that I get down on the sides as well and at the ends. And then you brush that off and you're going to activate it. And it just needs, one really good coat of activator because it simply was just a little bit of the base coat and powder. You want to wait for that to completely dry before you go in and file or buff it. And you don't really need to do much filing because you've already filed it. It's just in case you do have any lumps or bumps and you want to make a final shaping if you haven't at this stage. So I just do a light file on this, and then you're going to activate it for a second time after brushing off all of those particles, and then allow that to dry for a couple minutes. I'd say at least 2 minutes. And then you want to go in and make sure that you put 2 top coats on this gorgeous confetti mani. I'm so happy with the way that this turned out. And after you've done 2 top coats, you're going to want to go ahead and grab your favorite cuticle oil. And the top coat usually only takes about a minute to dry. I try to give it a couple minutes and then apply my favorite cuticle oil. And that's your mani. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and you can find your dipping needs at diynails.dipsydip.com. And if you want to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, it's Lori with DIY Nails. Hope you guys have a great day and a great week because I do post these on Monday, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!